So on a night when the New York Knicks come in town, they come to Crypto.com Arena to play the Los Angeles Lakers, and we lost, you know what I'm saying? But from where I'm standing, it wasn't a bad loss. There was some adjustments and some tweaks that we could have made, and honestly, we should have won this game, especially coming off the loss from the San Antonio Spurs, which we should have won. You know what I'm saying? We should have actually got the W regardless of anything. Even if somebody would have got hurt, we still should have won this game. At least that should have been a mentality coming into tonight. And ultimately, that mentality should have manifested the outcome. But it didn't happen like that. And even though it didn't happen like that, I could be a little upset with the inconsistencies in scoring, but that comes with the game. Every night is not going to be a night. Them shots ain't going to fall every night. That three-pointer ain't going to hit every night. And even when you got a team that got legendary three-point shooters, they're going to have off nights. Taurean Prince, 3 for 13. It's a bad shooting night. But he started off, that percentage wasn't that bad at first. But then, over the course of a game, he missed 10 three-pointers, but we ain't mad. Because when you open, you got to take the shot. And if it goes down, we cheering you on. And if it don't, we ain't on your back either. So that's the good thing about the way I think, the logical Laker. I ain't going to sit here and down him, brother, because he missed 10 threes. Because he did hit 3 of them. And those 3 that he hit was actually on point in terms of when we needed it, right? It gave us some momentum. So that's always a plus. So just breaking down the game from how I seen it, the first quarter, I am disappointed that we still giving up more than 28 points a game, right? Because anything more than 28 points, quote unquote, averages out to about 112 a game. That's where we want to stay. Remember, right? If you're a Laker fan and you in the arena, you know what I'm saying, especially if you in the area of Jack in the Box, if we get the W and hold the team under 111 points, what's that thing? It's free tacos, what I'm saying, the next day with the purchase of a drink. So we want to stay in that range. We don't want to give up more than 28 points in a quarter. And in this quarter, we gave up 35. Now, the way I'm thinking is after coming off the San Antonio Spurs loss where we gave up 42, why would we then turn around and give up 35? So that kind of did, have me feeling some type of way. But I will say that the way the game started, we was playing good. And then we just kind of had a stretch where we wasn't. And we ended up giving up 35 points. So that's something I would like for us to improve on. Coming out of that first quarter, not only focusing on not being down 18, 20 points out the gate, but also not giving up a lot of points even if we're not down, even in a close game. Let's not come out the quarter 35, 33. We don't even want that. We don't even want to give them the confidence that they can put the ball in the basket that many times, especially not that early on. If it becomes a duel match, a slugfest at the end in the fourth quarter, we okay with that, but not to start the game off, because what I'm noticing is that fear factor. I would like for us to gain that fear factor, because I feel like when teams play us, they're not afraid of us. They're like, yo, we could beat them. Yeah, they got one of the GOATs. Yeah, they got AD, block party in session, but we could win. And I feel like that confidence turns into momentum, and it ultimately backfires against us. Heading into the second quarter, things will begin to roll in our favor. We started to put some buckets together back to back. We started to get some turnovers, right? Play some D. Anthony Davis was hitting the mid-range. We like that, right? We like when that jumper's falling. LeBron James was being LeBron James. And I will say that in that first half, there was a lot of questionable refereeing going on. Now, I'm not saying that we got all the calls or they got all the calls. Like, that's not what I'm talking about. Because remember, I'm logical. I like to see the game even out over the course. So if I'm taking it to the hoop and I bump a brother and I go up and I shoot the layup and I get the and one or I get the foul, then on the opposition, it should be the same way. And there was a bunch of inconsistencies, you know what I'm saying? Randall got like slapped in the face or something. He was bleeding. He was tight. Somebody must have like snuffed him. Looked like they hit him with a quick jab or something. He was upset. Yeah, he was bleeding. Yeah, that should have been a foul. But then, he threw a chicken wing. I think he threw a chicken wing to Vanderbilt. Like, literally had the chicken wing under his armpit and like a wrestling move to him. And they didn't call that. That's questionable refereeing for me, man, But either way, that was just my perspective of the refereeing. But back to the second quarter where we begin to catch momentum. And ultimately, we ended the first half up with an Anthony Davis jumper. We ended up. So as far as I'm concerned, we was in a good position. But then we make our way to the third quarter. So in this quarter, things would turn against us. We would eventually end up leaving the quarter headed into the fourth down 10 points. They went on like a 14-2 run at one point, and really we kind of never really got that back, and at least not in the third quarter. Now headed into the fourth, late into the fourth, maybe about 6 minutes left, we started to get back into it, started to string some buckets, get a couple turnovers, but realistically we was never able to take the lead back, and pretty much the game was lost from that third quarter 14-2 run. We never was able to get it back. And I will say that the Knicks was hitting buckets. I mean, Brunson gonna do what he do. Randall, I don't understand how this dude be getting buckets, but he gets buckets. He be pushing, like, I don't know. But I ain't gonna hate, you know what I'm saying? Because he is one of their stars. But Emmanuel quickly put up some points. I'm gonna go over his stats later, but he was cooking. He actually kept that momentum going. And I will say, like, when I'm reflecting on the whole game, I should have known, because in the first quarter we were shooting under 30% and they were shooting like 54%. And I swear the rest of the game kind of just like went like that. Like, they was shooting, they was hitting their shots, we wasn't. Then they was getting offensive rebounds. That's a whole nother story. 11 offensive rebounds, and then Hartenstein, he gets 7? What? Was Anthony Davis not playing? Hartenstein got 7 offensive rebounds? Come on, man. You know something ain't right. So I did have an issue with that. As far as Darvin Ham goes, I'm not really upset because he was real active. He did a lot of good coaching, you know. I felt as though that he switched up the lineups and made adjustments based on what he thought would help us out. So, you know, that's a plus. And then also he had a really good timeout. There was a point, remember I told you, in that 6 or 5 minute mark, come down the fourth quarter, where he drew up a play, and I liked it. It gave us momentum. We was able to score, like, I want to say we scored like 3 baskets back to back. It was like a LeBron James, Austin Reeves, Anthony Davis play. It was beautiful. I actually seen the play before, and I like this play. I would like for us to run this play when we're getting beat up, when the opposition got the momentum. I would like for us to run a play like this, because this is a really good play. So we had that one. Anthony Davis scores. Then we go back. I believe James makes a play to Anthony Davis cutting, and Anthony Davis got a lucky basket, but it went in. Whatever, we ain't complaining. And then LeBron comes back and he posts some young boy up. That Barrett, whatever his name is, posted him up and took him to the rack. So we scored 6 quick points, and then the Knicks called a timeout. And then we called a timeout, so it's kind of like we got a little break, you know, for Brown and AD, which was cool, and for Reeves as well, because, you know, that's our big 3 currently, right? But other than the big 3, you know, nobody else scored double-digit points. D'Angelo Russell, 9 points, 3 3-pointers. Taurean Prince, 9 points, 3 3-pointers. And as far as Cam Reddish, like he really couldn't find his place in this game, and that's because he was in foul trouble. He had like 4 fouls in like the second quarter. It was crazy. But, you know, when you playing against Brunson, like, Brunson is money. I ain't gonna hold you. That boy be balling. So, you know, Cam Reddish ended up with 4 fouls, and ultimately took him out the game, because, you know, he brings energy and intensity, and he just didn't have it. You know, he had a couple baskets that he could have made, a couple open shots he could have hit, and, you know, really I think he only ended up with like 4 or 5 points, something like. But we ain't tripping. My boy Rui Hachimura only scored 8 points, and I like to see him become more consistent. I would actually like to see Darvin Ham draw up some plays for him, because I'm noticing, like I told you, we don't really run that many plays, but I think we should, because certain people got strong suits. Now, Rui would think, the thing I like about him a lot is he could just score. You give him a bucket, he could shake it through, he could take it to the rim, he could shoot the 3 if he's open, he got a mid-range. I like Rui, but why can't we throw him in the pick? Like, why we don't have a play for him? Like, I feel like every one of our scorers we should have a play for. Only players we shouldn't have a play for is Reddish and Vanderbilt. Everybody else we should have a play for. Jackson Hayes, pick and roll, throw him the alley. We know Anthony Davis, Brown, Reeves, cool. Prince, we know Prince is over in the corner. Come on, D'Angelo Russell, come on. He should have some pick. He should have a play. He don't really got to play. He really got to do his own thing. And I think that's something we should start implementing. But my overall take, just based on the performance, the momentum is gone, man. I told you, it's like we won the championship. And speaking of the championship, on this night, we would raise the in-season tournament championship banner. Okay, when you raise the banner, you're supposed to win. At the very least, you're supposed to play with intensity And we didn't really play with that. It was like a real mellow game. Real mellow. It was cool because it was never like we never really was getting blown out, and we never was blowing them out. Actually, I think we only had like 6 point lead or something. But overall, the game was real mellow. It was real back and forth. It was kind of like it was scripted, you know? Like it was real just movie-like. So on a night when LeBron James puts up 25, 11, and 11, you know, nice looking triple-double. Anthony Davis with another 30-point game, 32 points, you know, double-double, 14 boards, 2 blocks. So the block party seems to be reconvened, you know. And Austin Reeves, you know, the little 20-piece he gonna give you, you already know, 3 3-pointers. Like, Reeves is Reeves. I like Reeves. Actually, Reeves sparked, once again, he's the spark. You know what? That's what I'm going to call Austin Reeves. He AR-15, a.k.a. the spark plug. Because when Reeves get in the game, he gets us started. He gets shaking, and he starts baking, and he starts cooking. And his recipe is fire. You know, he got a 20-piece recipe. But overall, outside of the big three, we really didn't get much production from anybody else. And ultimately, that's why we lost. You know, we didn't play with that energy, that intensity, and that's ultimately why we lost. You know, I don't think it was bad coaching. It wasn't like Darvin Ham didn't call timeouts or Darvin Ham didn't draw up plays. Now, he did all of that. We just wasn't really hitting shots, to be honest with you. So that pretty much just sums up how I seen it. You know, it's a loss, but even though it's a loss, it wasn't a bad loss. You know, so that's cool. We got some things to look forward to. We still need to get healthy because at one point in the game, Vanderbilt looked like he re-aggravated his heel injury. And he ended up coming out the game. I believe he got back in the game too. But remember, like, we need to get him back in form. He's not in form yet. You know what I'm saying? Gabe hasn't even suited back up, so he's not in form yet. So we need these players to get back in form. Rui Hachimura, like I said, he's giving us that 8. You know, he's giving us a flash of 15 here and then, you know, 3 here. Like, but he's still wearing a mask. So theoretically, I guess he's still hurt too. You know, and Christian Woods has somehow fallen out of the lineup. And like I said, for me, instead of it being a consistent lineup thing, I would rather us just like have certain plays that we run, because even from a defensive standpoint, I'm cool with the zone. You know, we implemented the zone last game that got us back into it, and I'm cool with us playing the zone. But the problem is sometimes we're playing zone and certain people are still playing man. So, you know, that kind of becomes an issue too. But overall, man, I'm not disappointed. But I'm not feeling as confident as I was, you know, 2 weeks ago. You know, the 18th banner is, you know, I'm on the fence, man. I'm still on the fence, and from what I've seen tonight, this is a game we could have won. We could have won this game, you know. So we should have won this game, and I'm gonna leave it there, man. Let me know what you think. I'm leaving it there, man. Peace.